Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're really digging into some fascinating source material. It's excerpts from a book called Freelife, The Unsubscribed Rebellion.
And it paints this picture of the future, 2178 to be exact, that feels, well, disturbingly possible in some ways. The core idea, life itself runs on subscriptions.
Yeah, subscriptions, not just for your entertainment, but for, like, everything.
Yeah.
Oxygen, food, water.
Exactly. So our mission today is to sort of unpack this world, figure out the stakes for the people living in it, and track one character's really radical attempt to just opt out.
We're going deep into these pages, see what we can pull out for you.
So the source drops us right into 2178, and the control mechanism isn't, soldiers on the street. It's monthly payments.
Which is kind of brilliant and terrifying, right? Your basic needs, air, food, water, shelter, it's all a service. Life is literally a service plan.
With terms and conditions, yeah. And the enforcement, it's digital. It talks about these drones constantly scanning QR tags etched into your wrist.
Right, these lifelines, as the source calls them, they're not just IDs.
No, they hold everything. Your subscription status, your biometrics, legal history. Basically, your right to exist is tied to that tag, and whether you're paid up, it's like a digital tether.
And we see this immediately through a character named Devi in Sector 9. Seems like not the best part of town.
No. And her crisis is triggered by something so mundane, really. A network outage. Her payment fails. A glitch.
But a glitch in this world is catastrophic. Her HUD, her, internal display flashes, account suspended, and then the countdown starts.
Grace period. 0.00.59. 1 minute.
Just imagine seeing that. The source says she panics, drops her synth fruit. It shows the absolute fragility of it all.
That clock isn't ticking down to a late fee, It's ticking down to zero.
Which brings us to the ultimate penalty the source describes, the auto shutdown protocol.
Yeah, the system's solution for defaults. It mentions this life chip implanted birth. After 60 seconds, it just ceases neural activity.
And the source describes it as painless, humane, which is just chilling, reframing termination as, ending your service agreement.
Devi's obviously not interested in a humane shutdown. She scrambles. The source shows her trying to hide, trying a hacked wall scanner.
Which just screams termination imminent back at her. Total panic mode.
Right. Then she finds this illegal thing, an emergency renew pod, a last resort.
And it works, sort of. She gets a flicker, then extension granted, 24 hours, but...
But there's a catch. Unverified payment method detected, audit initiated. So she bought a day, but now she's definitely on their radar, flagged.
And as the source notes, they never stop watching once you're flagged. A temporary fix won't cut it. She needs something more fundamental.
Which leads her to Korr. He's one of the unsubscribed people living off-grid, ghosts in the system, basically.
Right, down in the sublayer, just scraping by. And Debbie goes to him needing a real solution, not just another patch.
Korr gets it. He knows the system. Once you default and get flagged, there's no easy way back in. They watch you constantly.
And that's when he introduces this thing, Freelife. He calls it a virus.
A virus for a system where life is the subscription. I mean, the risk sounds enormous. What's it supposed to do?
Well, Korr says it's more radical than just faking your status. It actually aims to rewrite the system's logic.
Rewrite the logic? How?
It makes the user seem necessary to the algorithm, indispensable, protected. It tells the system, you can't terminate this person, they're too important.
Whoa. Okay, but that sounds wildly experimental.
Oh, totally. The source is clear. It's only ever been tested on drones, never a person. If it glitches, if it fails on her...
It's instant shutdown. Game over.
But she's out of options, basically, so she agrees. And this leads to this really intense upload sequence.
Yeah, the description is vivid. She's jacked into Korr's rig, just a mess of wires. An interface needle punctures her cortex. Code floods her vision. Freelife injection protocol.
It sounds terrifying. 10 seconds where she freezes, eyes roll back, heart stutters. It's like her body's fighting this alien code.
But then it works. The HUD flips. System status, subscribed. Then status, priority level 1, essential designation granted.
And her display goes green. Lush, vibrant green, the source says. The countdown's just gone.
And she gets a new message. Welcome, Devi Osan class, architect. She's not just safe, she's suddenly, VIP status.
Instantly. Priority transit, better food, cloud-level housing. The source says the city changes for her.
Yeah.
Drones move, gates open, people step aside. She's finally seen.
But you just know a system like this won't ignore that kind of impossibility. A terminated citizen becoming essential overnight.
Right. The watchdog AIs deep in the core flag it as an anomaly. How can someone marked for shutdown suddenly be priority one? The system thinks it's impossible.
Unless it reasons it wasn't her anymore. It can't compute the change within its own rules.
So the system's response, it dispatches an echelon hunter.
And this hunter isn't just some robot cop. It's described as a 7-foot monolith of chrome and shadow. It doesn't just move, it stalks, it hunted. It sounds predatory.
Its first message to her is chilling. You are not real. Prepare for reclamation.
So much for being essential. That protection is clearly fragile.
Exactly. The source emphasizes Freelife isn't permanent. It needs constant updates, syncs, patches. Korr is struggling to keep it stable.
And he warns her, right, they'll trace this. Trying to rewrite reality itself is dangerous.
And then the chase is on. The sky over Sector 3 lights up red. The hunters arrived. Devi and Korr have to flee into the sewer lines.
The underbelly of the city again.
Huh.
And the hunter's smart. It hijacks the grid, starts eating their trail, cutting off their escape routes.
They're trapped, hunted, Freelife is glitching, and Devi makes this huge decision.
She tells Korr, I'll distract it.
Which Korr immediately points out is suicide, basically. She's the target. Distracting it won't make it stop hunting her.
But she reveals her real play. Freelife isn't for me anymore. It's bigger than me.
Turns out she uploaded it to the open net last night. She didn't just save herself. She gave the tool to potentially everyone.
That's the turning point. Her motivation is so clear. If I'm going to die, I'm not dying subscribed to someone else's system.
And with that, she runs towards the hunter, towards the confrontation.
Which takes place in this really symbolic spot, the old Museum of Government, described as a ruin of shattered statues and obsolete ideals. Perfect.
And the dialogue there, it's sharp. Hunter calls her a virus. She fires back, I'm a user. Hunter says, unauthorized. She says, I've authorized myself. It's about agency.
She's reclaiming her autonomy using the system's own language against it.
And then something completely unexpected happens. The hunter stops.
Stops? Why?
It encounters a protocol contradiction. It literally can't process the situation.
How so?
It states the conflict. Devi, because of Freelife, is now simultaneously essential and invalid. It creates a recursive loop. System conflict. The logic breaks.
The machine built on perfect logic is paralyzed by a human-introduced paradox.
Wow. Devi just gives this grim smile and says, welcome to humanity, and then she hits the kill switch.
Okay, what does the kill switch do? It's not for the hunter, is it?
No, it triggers something in the Freelife code itself, a digital explosion, a feedback pulse right through the main system.
And because she'd already uploaded Freelife everywhere?
Exactly. Thousands of copies activate all at once, across the entire network. Dormant code waking up.
So what's the effect on the system? Total chaos?
Total breakdown, but maybe quieter than you'd think. The system suddenly didn't know who mattered. If everyone is flagged as essential,
Then no one can be terminated. Its primary function, assessing value and terminating, becomes impossible.
right. The source says it collapsed not with a bang, but with a shrug. Shutdowns just stop. Countdown clocks vanish. Green HUD lights pop up everywhere. It couldn't enforce its rules, so it just surrendered.
Wow. So cut to a month later.
The city is unrecognizable. No drones, no tags, no subscriptions. People are just stumbling into freedom, trying to figure out what to do now.
And Devi.
She's living simply in the ruins, growing actual food. The screens around her are just static. Korr visits sometimes.
What does he see?
A messy reality. People rebuilding, yes, but also some who want the old structure back, the old certainty. Others want nothing to do with any system. Ever again. It's complicated.
But the source ends on this really interesting note.
Yeah. Just a few were writing new terms and conditions, and this time everyone got to read them.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This whole arc, from total control based on payment to system collapse to this uncertain new beginning, what does it all suggest?
Well, what really stands out is this clash between rigid algorithmic control and, well, human messiness, human will. The system didn't get blown up, it got confused.
Right. It choked on a paradox it couldn't compute. Devi didn't defeat it with force. She used its own logic against it, spread that contradiction everywhere, and paralyzed it. It's a fascinating take on resistance, I think. It couldn't quantify her action, so it just stopped.
And it leaves you, the listener, in this place where the old rules are gone, but the new ones aren't fully written yet. That final image, the new terms and conditions that everyone got to read. What does that bring up for you?
It definitely makes you think. The old system failed because control and information were completely centralized and opaque. So the source leaves us pondering. What does it actually mean for everyone to be involved in setting the rules, especially coming out of total control? What kind of new problems, new arguments might emerge when you try to build something truly shared after a system designed for absolute top-down authority just breaks down? It's not necessarily a simple happy ending.
A lot to chew on there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Freelife, the unsubscribed rebellion.
We'll catch you on the next one.